All right. What do we have this morning for small caps? That was AMBO. Didn't really do anything, right? Was that the one that didn't do anything? Or was that the one that... All right. Yeah, so guys, the reason why I don't show gap downs is this, on top of 10-minute EMAs, because this is what happens every time. All right? They pull back to the 10-minute EMAs and then start grinding. That's not... I don't want to be shorting on top of the 10-minute EMAs. For me to be shorting this, I would be shorting... We would say this was all yesterday. We'd want to be gapping below next pivot, which would be right here. This is the next pivot if you gap down below the 10-minute EMAs. So if you gap down below the 10-minute EMAs to right here, let's say, now you're below next pivot on yesterday's support and below the 10-minute EMAs, and you can expect the stock to bounce back up into next pivot and the 10-minute EMAs and reject, come back down. But if you're gapping down on top of the 10-minute EMAs, it's just going to keep grinding. So that's why that was invalid. Now, OTRK. OTRK, guys, was a stock that off the open, look, over here when we were watching it, nothing to do with that. Why? Because look, number one, it's opening right here. It's super beat down. Why am I going to trade it down here? I want nothing to do with it. It's a reverse split. I know it's going to run. But like I always say, guys, when these stocks, if they're going to blow other people up and then give me a backside trade, okay, then I'll be looking for pivots. So where are the pivots? This is a shitty pivot, not a really great pivot. Because guys, remember, the knee-jerk reaction off the pivot, the bigger it is, the stronger. Like this pivot, amazing. This pivot, amazing. This pivot, amazing. This pivot, good, right? But these little pivots suck unless they have a million touches on them, because you want to have the bigger the reaction. This pivot right here is good too. See this pivot right here? Look at how far it ripped off this pivot, you guys, and that's where it stopped. See this pivot right here? The stock went up, came down, boom! That makes this a strong pivot. It's also a multi-touch pivot, and it's $0.50. All right. Now above that, you had this little pivot right here. This little piggy went home. And then above that, you have right here and right here. So this little area right here. Right, these little pivots right here. So a stock that has not the best gap stats, and it's very beaten down, opening right on top of the daily level, opening right on top of these pivots right here. Multi-touch pivot, very strong support. It's opening right on that. It needs to push far away from that. So I always say I don't want to trade these unless they blow other traders up and then give me a backside trade. Well, what is a backside trade? A backside trade, guys, is when a stock tops out at a daily level, and then look at the volume over here, almost up to 2 million right here, right? And then now it didn't get cut quite 50% in half, but still. Over here, it's almost less than 1 million, and on this trigger candle, even better. So look it, we have about 1.9 to 2 million, and then over here, we have only, so it was cut in half. So a stock that goes up to a pivot, real close to a pivot, has to be pretty close, right? So look, let's see exactly where that was. That pivot that we were looking at was right here at 560. So that's pretty close, all right? The stock came, look, 6 cents from that pivot. So now, did you get a great trigger right here? No, because the trend break is really right here. All right, that's really the trend break is like that. This isn't really much of a fake breakout. It just pushed up and made a top and tail. But it doesn't matter because we dropped, look, we dropped about, we dropped about 17% off the high and pulled decently back from a very clear pivot on the daily chart. So when that happens now, I'm looking for the volume to start decreasing, and then I'm just going to put my fibs on here, and I want to be shorting above the 61 to 70, anywhere in this range to the highs. 61 to 78% fib, it usually ends up around here. Like I always say, it usually ends up in this range. But higher the better, and you can short it while it's going up, but I usually wait for some kind of rejection or trigger like that, because now it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, boom, trigger, short right here, bam, 525, you put your stop over 555, and now guess what? How many R's is that? That's a lot of R's. You would have been shorting in a great risk reward zone, even if you shorted at 5.20, risking 35 cents. All right, you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tons of R's. And how do I? You can also go like this. Keish made this pretty cool channel thing. He turned the channel into a risk reward calculator. So let's say you entered right here. Let's say you waved, it popped up, came back down, you entered right here. That would be your entry. Your stop will go above the highs. Up there. Oops, I screwed up. Sorry. So that would be your entry. Oh, idiot. What are you doing? Sorry, guys. That would be your entry right here. Use the channel one. Your stop will go above the highs. All right, so you enter right there. Your stop's up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which came down to where? So far, it came down to 260. So 260 would be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 hour trade. That means you have to have not a very good win rate at all. If you're getting 5, 6, 4, 5 hour trades. Basic setup, lower high position short. That everybody knows how to do in this room after a stock blows out other fucking shorts, tops out at a key level, the volume reduction gets cut in half, and then it makes a backside trigger on the lower high position. Everybody knows how to do that. The easiest fucking setup. If anyone wants to go look, Ben, if you want to go look at the stats, go look in the Fibonacci section, I believe. I don't know where it is. I'll ask Keish. Anyone know where the data is for the fucking backside, lower high fib bounce? I got too much shit in here. I lost it. Lower high setup. I don't know. It's in here somewhere in the channels. Ian Keish back tested every lower high fib bounce and put all the stats in an Excel sheet. So, wait, hold on. I'll find it right now. Yeah, except the odds are usually way better on 78, so it doesn't matter. The win rate doesn't always matter. I don't know where it is. I gotta ask Keish. I got too much shit in here. I forget what we called it. Anyways, I'll find it later. It's definitely in here somewhere, but I forget what we called it. Oh, right here. Is that it? No, that ain't it. I don't fucking know. I'll find it. Whatever. Anyways, that's how you trade it. Very easy. It has a super high win rate. The volume gets cut in half. Ba-boom, ba-bang. Now, BPTH. The only reason why I didn't trade this is because it's too cheap for me these days, and I really am trying to work on sizing up. Hold on. Let me look at that real quick. I don't think that's it, but yeah, that might be it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. There you go. There you go. That's it. Cool. Attaboy. All right, so guys, this all comes down to what you like to do, where you are in your trading, right? As I said, guys, BPTH had 80% gap stats. It didn't have any red flags. So what does that mean? That means we're going to be trading it, if you choose to trade this price stock, as a gap and crap. Because why? The pre-market high was at 150. All right? The open price is way down here. That means this stock has dropped from the pre-market high to whatever it was, 17, 18%. That means it's a gap and crap setup. Now, on a gap and crap setup, what do we want to do? We want to see, did the pre-market reject, did we already reject a pivot in the pre-market, or we have other ones? So let's go look. Where do we go up to? $1.50. All right, well, let's go look. $1.50. Do we have a pivot there? $1.80. So right here is our pivot, all right? So we already know we rejected a key ultimate low pivot in the pre-market. So that means it's a gap and crap setup. All we're doing now is putting our fibs on again and looking for a short and lower high position. Why does lower high position work so well? Everybody should know. But Ben, do you want to know why this works so well? Well, it works so well for two reasons. Number one, because the higher we go up into this, well, number one is because stocks make lower highs and lower lows, and that's just how they trade, right? You make lower high, lower low, lower high at the 78% fib, lower high probably at the 61 fib. Even in these little tiny trends, right? When the stock's going like this, a high, that's probably the 78% fib. That's probably the 78% fib. That's probably the 61% fib. That's just how they move. But when this spikes up here, right? Anyone who longed it down here goes to sell as it gets towards the resistance. So they start to sell. And anyone who wants to short close to this high so they can have a good risk reward. So it just ends up being that this area is perfect for longs who want to take profits and for shorts who want to get short. So lower high, and it's just the way stocks move. So that's why this position works so great. So the stock spikes up, you get filled in this area, 142, you're risking 10 cents. Well, guess what? 132, 122, 112. That's already almost 4 hours again. So just those two simple playbook strategies that you can find in the channels, how to trade them. That's 9 or 10 hours today. You only need a fucking 10% win rate when you're banging shit like that. Guys, you just got to learn the playbooks and take the trades the way they are. Don't fucking do anything different but the way they are. Because they're already set up to be the best way that they can work and make you money. We're not in here to trade. We're in here to make money. And if you want to make money, you learn the system and trade it the way I trade it. Or else, I don't know what to tell you. Because you guys have seen now for 2 years straight that I just operate in a way that I never take huge losses. I just keep making money every day. Never take stress. Never get pissed off. Only thing I get pissed off about is that I miss a 40-point trade on TIL. It's never because I'm losing. It's because I'm fucking like, oh, I knew I should have entered that. Just got in. Fuck it. The chance of me blowing up is 0%. Literally 0%. There is no chance, no way on earth, on this fucking planet that I would ever blow up my account. It's literally impossible. Because I trade exactly the way I trade and I do exactly what I do every day. The same thing. I don't just say, I'm just going to trade this Chinese stock that's $400 today and short it in lower high position. And then it goes to 600, skips right up and blows up my account. That'll never happen. So remember, key level rejects, and then it comes down, sets up as a gap and crap. If this stock only pulled back less than 15% and was sitting up here, then what would we want? We'd still look for maybe a lower high, but more likely a gap and extend, and we'd want to trigger into this key level again. So if it didn't set up as a gap and crap, if the stock only pulled back to right here, let's say it was open right here, then we'd want it to push and do a fake breakout or a stuff trigger up at that daily pivot again. And then we short, risking the highs, and take the trade down. So it's two different setups, gap and crap or gap and extend. If it's a gap and extend, we're looking for trigger at the highs, fake breakout, pre-market high. And guys, I don't even care about the pre-market high unless it fucking lines up with a key daily level. That's when I really love it, which this one did. Plus it's a $0.50. So now if this stock was over $1.50, that would have been even better. Because I don't backtest stocks less than $1.50. But anyway, that's how you trade it, and that's what it is. Played out perfectly. I'm sure plenty of people in here traded it. All right. Next we had TWLO. Oh my God, TIL is now at 30 fucking 3. All right, TWLO, guys. Why did I want to trade TWLO secret short? Well, I'm going to show you right now. All right. First things first. This looks like a shitty short, right? Coming off the bottom. Guys, if you zoom out to the weekly chart, it's not a great short. But that's why I wasn't trying to hold it like forever. I'm just like pretty much using intraday. But that being said, I got to change this back. I got to put the daily 4 on here so you can see, because when I switch this from my vertical chart, it takes the 4 off for some reason. But as you can see, guys, all right, we came off the 4. Up here, we're off the weekly 4. All right, now go to the daily chart. Yesterday, we came down. We still have a gap to the 4. So as long as we have a gap to the 4, and if we have a gap to the 8, that's great. If we have a gap to the 4 right here, that's even better. The one thing that this wasn't perfect is because we were pushing off the 4. But There's no way we're going to push off the 4 and go back up here and break out. That's a slim chance that this candle goes like this. It's not touching the 8, just pushes off the 4 and goes like that. This turns like a green candle like this. That doesn't happen very often. Where you didn't even touch the 8 and this candle ends up just hitting the 4 and doing that. Yeah, it looks fucking weird. My eyeballs don't even want to look at that. It doesn't even look right. I never see this. This 2 candle pattern right here, you never see this. That doesn't look like anything my eyeballs seen before. What does look like something that my eyeballs seen before is this. This is all about pattern recognition, guys. My eyeballs have definitely seen this before. Now this is much more likely to happen, where we push, come up here, hit the low high position, and then turn into a top and tail again and come down. So this candle would end up being like this. This big red, another big red candle with a top and tail daily. All right, that's way more likely to happen than that super bullish candle. So that being said, if that's going to happen, and I believe that's going to happen, what do I need to happen? Well, I need to see if there's a secret setup. All right, well, let's go. Take the pre-market data off the 10-minute chart. 10-minute EMAs. We know we're extended into resistance away from the daily 4. Did the 10-minute 8 cross below the 21 and 34? Yes, the 8 brown line crossed below the 21 and 34. Did we break the most recent level of support? Yes, we broke the most recent level of support. So we've made lower lows. We started to make lower lows. Now what do we want to happen? We want to short the lower high because we've made lower lows. So we put our fibs on from the open today. And we pop up towards 61 fib. That one I took a little premature because it started to reject. But ideally we would have came exactly into this zone and got filled right around here. So anywhere in here or even higher, whatever. As long as the secret comes at least to the 61 fib, boom, boom. And then we short it and take it back down, start covering and see if it can go back to the daily 8, which would be the next target right down here. 66.50, 67. We have a pivot right here, so I would take some off right there and just see if this can come back down to here near the 8. As you see, look, guys, 8, 8, 8. So look, came back close to the 8, came back to the 8, came back to the 8. So come back to the 8 again, you dirty pig. I know you want to. All right. Right? That's it. So now, next one. What was the next one? The next one was Meta. Meta was a little confusing for some people because they're like, what? Meta's not gapping into the 10-minute EMAs. Well, I'm going to show you right now. Meta. First off, guys, look where Meta is bouncing from, okay? This is a breakout. This is a breakout retest. All this is a breakout and a retest. That was the 4 EMA support right here too. Breakout, retest, go. Breakout, retest, go. Breakout, retest, go. So, okay, so we have a very key level plus the 4 right there. All right? It likes to ride up the 4. It only came back to the 8 once. It likes to ride up the 4. It likes to ride up the 4. The personality of the stock, open your eyes, go look at what the stock likes to do. It likes to ride up the 4. It likes to ride up the 4. If it likes to ride up the 4 and we have a breakout retest level right there, then let me think about this. Do I want to wait? Do I want to wait for the stock to come all the way back up to here for me to short it? It's got to travel all those dollars. All these dollars, it's got to go from here for me to short it. So let me see here. If the stock gaps up back on top of the 8 and 4, and we obviously have this very clear box right here, a volume box that now is going to support it, all right? So we have this volume box right here that's going to, so much volume right here done, not so much, but enough consolidation that if it gaps on top of that, it might just come and wick right off it. Okay, so Tesla, Meta, gaps up today. The 4 and 8 is starting to curl. We have a volume box right here. We know we're pretty far from here. We also know we're bouncing off the daily 4 and the breakout retest level. Okay? So we gap up off that level. It dips. As soon as it starts to wick, long. sell, 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 sell. Have a nice day. Don't care. Actually, it was more like this. Wick, buy, sell, sell, sell. And then I sold the rest when it started to drop below the 10-minute EMAs. I wanted it to go up here, but it's not. I didn't like this fake breakout right here. Jesus Christ, my voice is like done. I didn't like this fake breakout. What the fuck? Hold on. I didn't like this fake breakout. Did my voice just disappear in one word? I didn't like this fake breakout right here on that big spike. And then once it fell and started going back under the 10-minute EMAs, the heck? I'm just going to get rid of it because I wasn't trying to swing this. Guys, Tesla, Meta's ran up so far. It's been running and running and running. I don't swing trade off the 4. Even if it's a breakout retest level, I only swing trade off the 8 and the 21.34. So I would only swing trade this if it came back down to here. But I'll take a day trade. If you want to come back down to the 21.34, I'll fucking... Now we have enough room to go like this. If this stock dropped all the way down to here, I could buy this right here, and guess what? I'll do what I always do. Boop, slap my fibs on, buy it down here, and guess what? Sell it right there. Now, if it wants to break out, great. If it wants to fucking... I'll sell half right there into lower high position. If it wants to keep going, great. If it wants to come back down here, great. I don't give a shit what it does. I already made a shit ton of money. And then it wants to go like that. No big deal. But I'm not going to swing it off the 4 because it has a high chance of fail. So, I just day trade the day trade. If it wants to keep pushing, keep breaking out and holding the 10-minute EMAs, they want to keep rising, get to my target. If it wants to curl the 10-minute EMAs back down, have a nice day. I'm done with you. All right? Next, we have Tesla. Mighty Tesla. The mighty, mighty Tesla. Tesla. The mighty, mighty Tesla. What am I thinking when I look at Tesla? Well, I'm thinking a lot of things. Number one, Tesla, has broken its little downtrend here. It's broke its downtrend. It fell back below it. Now it's reclaimed this downtrend. That's one thing that I see when I look at the chart. All right? I also know and I am aware that it has a trend line way down here. Right? I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that this thing still has decent amount of room, except we already went to the 61 fib once here. So now I'm looking at this saying, all right, we went to the 61 fib, we came down, we made a higher low. We made a lower high, we made a higher low. Now we kind of going up, we're breaking out. Now I'm always leaning to the side slightly of bullish on Tesla because it's Tesla. Also, guys, this is a giant flag in the big picture, all right? This right here. This right here is a giant flag. So we have broken to the upside of this flagpole, really, of this giant flag. Even though we've came down and made a lower high and stuff like that. But now, I didn't want to buy Tesla the other day up here because we're too high in lower high position, right? Of this high. Look. Oops. I wasn't going to buy it over here again. We bought it down here and it ripped up to here. Now, I'm not still going to buy it up here this close to resistance. I'd rather just have it break out and then I can buy it in a different place. But for today, I saw that we made a big wick off this on the weekly chart, okay? So now if we get a big wick like this off the weekly 8, we could start trending higher and be able to break this out. So now I switch to the daily chart. So now that weekly 8 is in the same place as the stacked positive, right? Stacked positive. Weekly 21 and 34. So what is a pattern, guys? If I want this level to hold, we already bounced off it once. What is the next pattern that I'm going to be looking at if I think this level is going to hold? Well, that's easy. It's going to be a double bottom. All right. So if I think this level is going to hold, that means I expect Tesla to come down and make a double bottom. Because if it goes down here, guess what? It's not holding. If it goes right here, then it's a higher low / double bottom. And it's going to hold the daily 21.34 and go back up like that. That's what I was expecting. That's what I wrote in the chat the other day and drew a picture. So if that's going to happen, what do I need to see intraday? If that's going to happen, then I need to see this. First of all, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But more importantly, if that's going to happen, I want to see Tesla come back down to secret setup level where I want to buy it, risking off the low. Now, unfortunately, Tesla started to spike, so I chased it up a little. Only half size because I knew it might come back down. So I bought it right here. I didn't sell. It came back down. I got the fake breakdown. I added. So now my full size is around here. 242, 242.50. Or in reality, I could have had an even better trade down here, but whatever. Now, as long as we don't lose this low and come down and break this, we should slowly start to go up to this neckline, and then voila. And then what do? Now we're just doing what we always do. We're in the driver's seat. This is going to come back up. We're going to go like this. We're going to sell a tiny piece into higher low position, lower high position, because that's how I trade. Sell a tiny piece up here in case it wants to die off lower high position again. Right? So sell a tiny piece, see if it's going to go, sell a little bit more at the high, and then hold the other half if it breaks out. And if it doesn't break out, it just rolls back over and plays dead, I can do what I want. I took a little profit so I can get out for either a tiny loss or no loss, or I can cut the rest even, whatever the case may be. So hopefully we're going to wake up the blast off tomorrow when SPY breaks over the trend line and Tesla goes with it. But that is just how I think about stocks, always in the next progression of what could happen or should happen, right? Now, if I was looking for Tesla to be a short, I would be going like this. Okay, we have a strong move down, flag off the 8. So what should happen if I thought Tesla was a short is we should break this. We should break this right here. This should come down, and today should have continuation below this low. It shouldn't be gapping back up today if I think this is going to continuate to the downside, right? We shouldn't be gapping back up. Not to mention, I don't short right on top of the daily 34, so that's freaking stupid. So I can get pounced in my face, right? If I thought Tesla was a short, I'd wait for it to curl these EMAs to the downside. I'd wait for it to 21 and 34 to start going down, and then what would I do? Then I'd be looking for something like this, a little lower. I want it to drop a little further and come back to them. More like, right like this or like this. I'd be looking for these kind of steps to the downside as long as we still had room to the downside. I'm not going to force a short right here. No, I'm going to wait till it's upside down and then hit the shorts that I want. I'm not going to force it while it's starting to turn over so I can get squeezed. No. Don't be in a rush. Wait for it to actually set up. Right? Tesla's inching its way towards that friggin' trigger candle, which is going to really cause a wall up when it breaks. See this? Once this high gets taken out, as long as it confirms, it actually takes it out. So we start going back up to here. So that was all the trades. Oh, and then SPY. All right, so guys, SPY was pretty good today too. What was I thinking on SPY? Well, it was pretty obvious, right? Look at SPY. It's forming a flag. So if we come down here, well, if we could have bought it yesterday, remember yesterday we said if it loses the 10-minute EMAs, you guys, if SPY loses the 10-minute EMAs in this trend line yesterday, I said it's going to come back to higher low position. Well, guess what? Where's higher low position? Right where my circle rests for the price action. But I don't buy stocks that close to the end of the day. So I didn't try to buy that. I just waited, even though we knew that's where it was going to go. Now today, what's happening today? Well, now we bounced off this near this level of big demand level, and we started to see a flag pattern forming, right? We're gapping up on top of the 10-minute EMAs. Remember, when we gap up on top of the 10-minute EMAs, the direction of the 10-minute EMAs take preference, or whatever you want to call it. Take whatever that word is I'm looking for. Whatever direction the 10-minute EMAs are going is the one I'm leaning towards because they work so good. So, 10-minute EMAs, we gap up. What do? We dip back towards the 4 and 8, and then we start to push. Now, where did I take a trade on Tesla on this? Let me close all this so you can see. Now I know, okay, first thing, only thing I'm going to leave up there is this. This is the only thing that I needed to see because I know that's where I want it to go. All right? I know when we're down here, now we're on top of the 10-minute EMAs, we can try to push to that trend line. So what did I do? I will show you. I'm trading 5-minute EMA intraday setups with the pre-market data on. I know the trend line's higher. Right here, it came down. Strong move up, flag off the 8. It wicked off it. I scalped it a little. But once I saw this, boom, under almost to the 21, reclaim of the pre-market high, long. Right here, under the 5-minute 8, over reclaim of the pre-market high, wick off the daily 21, long. Sell. Have a nice day, SPY. Done with you. The risk reward on this trade was literally 20 cents, and it spiked 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's go. Let's ask Keish how many hours we got. So stop it below here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I didn't sell it to tippy top, so 6 R's. Simple, simple, simple hammer candle with key levels and EMAs. Trigger candle, trigger candle, trigger candle, trigger candle. Not to mention this thing was in a dirty squeeze right here, and it fired to the upside. Dirty birdie squeeze. And the MACD crossed over right here. So you had a lot of things going, even though I don't really pay attention to these that much anymore because I just don't need to. But trigger candle right here. Under, almost wicked off the 21. Reclaimed the 5-minute 8. Reclaimed the pre-market high. And gone. And she gone instantly. Nothing like instant gratification. So that was the last trade of the day. And then, guys, now you're just using this, as always, 10-minute EMAs as a guide. Tried to fall below. But, you know, as guys, don't forget, Tesla, SPY likes to go to the friggin' 50 a lot. So you can't really blame it for falling below the 21.34. It just likes to go to the 50 a lot. I might even went a little below that. But see, SPY prefers the 50. Prefers the 50 over the 21.34. It has deeper pullbacks and deeper spikes. So as long as we stay over the 50, we keep going towards that trend line. So, PBF. Well, because I didn't notice, right? PBF. It still might be a setup. It's not that it's no longer. I just didn't love that I noticed this right here. I want to wait for a little more confirmation. I don't like that it wicked off the 8 so easily again. But as long as it holds this trend line, you guys, as long as we hold this trend line and we stay above this level, I'm just going to wait until it starts to curl again, right? I don't want to buy it on the downside because it's flagging off the 8 again, flagging off the 8, flagging off the 8. This keeps flagging off the 8, but if we start to go like this, we start to curl off this low now here. See if I want to see more confirmation. I'm not liking the way this is looking. If we start to come down and curl off again, well then maybe I'll buy it. I'm just not liking the way that kitty cat's. That's a lot of fucking supply right there. That's a lot of dump. I don't like to buy stocks that go. I like quick wick downs, but that's like a. I don't know. That's just not for a secret setup. That just had like no wick back, just big dump and keeps going like. So I'm gonna still watch that to see why. But I just noticed at the at the rate when I put on the weekly chart, it's still flagging off the 8. So yeah. So we'll see what happens. As long as it holds this trend line in this level, it could start to curl back up. But I want to see something like a candle. I either want to see a trigger candle or I want to see some kind of candle that makes me think, okay, I don't care if I have to take more risk, right? If it gives me a big bullish candle here, then I have to get long at 34, risking 30. I don't care. There's plenty of room. But or even better, we get like something like this. I don't care what it is, as long as it's something that shows me, okay, something that shows me something that shows me this thing's not going to go down anymore. Now, that being said, you can still buy it. I mean, you could buy it if you want and risk off the lows, but, I think this is going to just reject the 10-minute EMAs and keep coming down, so. But I've missed a lot of secret setups before because I didn't take them because of the way they looked. That's called overthinking sometimes, but hey, I've missed my share of secret setups, I'll tell you that, because they looked weird and I'm like, and then they go, spew, and I go, fuck, take the secret setup, you idiot. So that's definitely happens. No doubt, it definitely happens. I missed many secret setups because I overthink it, or it doesn't look that good, or I don't know. That happens though a lot. Sometimes you just got to take the freaking setup no matter what. The other thing you can do also, guys, is just use like the hourly chart, and see remember Heikenachis. I like Heikenachis, so let's see. This thing starts to have a green right here. It's starting to have a green. Let's look at the 10-minute chart. No, that's too. So you guys, so look at the stock, right? Look at the green red. That's no good. 30-minute chart. All right, still green red, no good. Hourly chart, All right, well, now we have at least some decent moves. But I'd still go maybe to the 4-hour chart and see. All right, so the 4-hour chart, you see red, little green, red, green, green, red, green. It's more like, you know, at least when it turns, it makes a decent move. So maybe I'll just wait for that. It just, problem is, it takes a while, but either the hourly or the 4-hour, if we get a green hike somewhere down here in this demand zone, and we stay above that trend line, we don't want to lose that trend line, because if we lose this trend line, it's defeating the whole purpose. We want to stay above this, whether it's down here, I don't care. And then we'll watch, we see if we get an hourly or 4-hour. This one might turn green itself. So we'll see. Also, don't love the fact that when SPY's going up, I don't love the fact that when SPY's going up in a stock that I was thinking about buying is going down. What do you think is going to happen when SPY starts going sideways or going down? If this thing couldn't go up when SPY was going up, that's what's going to happen. So I instantly feel like, okay, if my stock that I was watching to buy is dumping and SPY's going higher, that thing's a piece of shit, right? If this thing was going to go up, it would have went up with SPY. It's not going to go up when SPY's not going up. So if it's not going up when SPY's not going up, it's really fucked, right? So remember that. If SPY's going up and your stock you want to swing is not going up, well, guess what? Thing's a giant turd, because if it was going to go up, it would go up with SPY. It has all the excuses it needs to go up right now. If it can't go up even with SPY, well, then it can't go up in general probably. So that's another thing. Anyways, that's about everything we talked about today. So SNAL didn't make a big move at all. It just went sideways. Fucking kitty cat. Dash, I still didn't short yet because it's still going sideways. Still watching that. It's not moving with SPY up, so I might enter some short on Dash, risking off the 145 level, 145.50. Kind of like that. Kind of like it. It's still flagging on the 8, but I would like to see like either break that support, but then I have more risk, or one more maybe fake breakout or something. I don't know. I'm watching. I'll let you know if I get in Dash. All right, guys. I'm going to stop the recording.